Yep.
I don't know. I live in Moberly now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So hope something comes up.
Yeah.
Stay around long enough.
Wink, wink, Dr. Fincher. Yeah. Unique and new for us because we actually started at the church a week after we got married.
Oh, wow.
And so like our entire life has been in this one church. And so it's just a new adventure for us.
So, Michael, just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what was your faith journey like that even set you on the trajectory that you're in right now?
Yeah, faith's always been kind of a part of my life. I'm a preacher's kid.
Same.
And yeah, I think I heard you say today, you're a preacher's kid's preacher's kid.
Yes.
I am also a preacher's kid's preacher's kid.
It's a small club.
And so yeah, my faith journey has been always kind of a part of the church and a part of faith community, that kind of thing. I thought for a long time that I just had a boring testimony.
Right.
But really what I realized is that my testimony started 2 generations ago with my grandpa, because he, I believe, was the first one to be a Christian on the Walton side of our family.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, it was cool to see how that played out, where, I mean, more of that family then came to know Jesus. And then, of course, my dad grew up in that household and then raised us as well in that way. As far as my own personal faith journey, though, I mean, I was baptized at a fairly young age. I think I was 7 or 8 years old. Went through and kind of growing up, I would say I kind of went through the motions a lot. Sure. I knew a lot of the answers, that kind of thing. But it was not until my family moved from Nebraska to Arizona when I was 16 that it really, in that transition, we were moving to Lake Havasu City, which is kind of a big spring break party location. Yeah. And I realized at that point that I was either going to just pretend for 2 years and like just party and try to cover it up, or I was going to actually get serious about my faith with Jesus. And I chose that one.
Yeah.
And
that's why we're here today.
So, yeah, pretty much. And if it hadn't been for that move, I don't really know where I'd be, but I don't think I'd be here.
Yeah.
And so
it was clarifying for you.
Yeah. So that really, I knew that was, I could see somehow in my 16-year-old brain,
right,
I was able to think clearly enough to realize that this was a turning point in my life. And so through that, then that was a pretty major moment where I started becoming a lot more serious about my faith in Jesus, and
that's great.
Getting involved on purpose for myself in church things, and not just I'm the preacher's kid, so by default I'm involved in church things.
Right.
But yeah, what about you, Micah?
Yeah, I was telling somebody recently, my first serving role at a local church started when I was 3 years old. Or maybe 4, because I had safety scissors and I would cut out the flannel graph. If you remember flannel graph.
Yeah.
Flannel graph. So that would be a Saturday thing. We would get a new roll of flannel graph and I would sit there with my mom and we would cut out flannel graph. And that's the first thing I remember doing for the church.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me growing up, it was hard for me to actually distinguish at certain points in my life, both as a child, as an adult, my own personal faith journey, as opposed to like, this is what I'm doing for God.
Right.
Does that make sense? And it is very easy to be very busy for God. I'm doing things. God and I must be okay, because look how much stuff I'm doing for him. Would I do all this stuff for him if we weren't okay? And, there's a whole need to be needed thing there that plays itself out. And it's like, well, God, you have to like me because look how much I'm doing for you.
Well, yeah.
But a lot of similarities. I was baptized at 8. My parents tried to prevent me from getting baptized, which I like to guilt them over. They wanted to make sure that I wasn't just doing it because other people did it. They wanted to make sure I understood and was ready. And it's like, well, in retrospect, now that I've had 3 8-year-olds, it's like, okay, how ready were they really? But they were ready enough. And so I was ready enough. I made a decision and stuck with it. Like you kind of grow up in the church. Teenage years, you kind of get to assess, like, okay, is this really what I believe, or is this what my parents believe? And I had, I'll get into the whole thing here, I had a reason to get really serious about what is it I actually believe. I haven't really explored this for myself. I mostly have my parents' faith. And that process of going from I have my parents' faith to actually having a faith of my own was really good for me. And a couple clarifying things for me, big ticket events. My junior year, going to CIY, being involved in Chrysalis, which is Chrysalis and Emmaus, or a retreat thing that's kind of rooted in the Methodist tradition, but ecumenical now. But broke away from the Methodists. But it's kind of a youth retreat thing, and I had several key experiences. My junior year especially, that just kind of helped me say, like, no, this is the path that I'm going on. But I was still planning on going to like a secular university, and that was my plan. And I lost, my parents moved. My dad was moved to a new church out of state, and I stayed behind and finished high school. And so, I'm 17 years old, living on my own. Well, not on my own. I was living above a garage of a family. But forged all my paperwork, hey, take this home and let your parents sign this. Totally.
Got it.
Yeah, that's statute of limitations. And, but I lost my in-state tuition because, so it's like spring of my senior year, and I didn't have a school because I was going to go to a state school that the price quadrupled or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I picked a small Christian college in Tennessee, Dayton, Tennessee, Bryan College, and went there, and it was really, really good for me to get both away from my parents. My parents are great. I love my parents, but like to grow up enough to start to really set up my identity for myself. Okay, do I go to church if my parents don't drive me? Do I go to church if nobody's there to check on me? Do I read my Bible? Do I actually pray anytime other than at meals from a reflex? Like, to start to build your own faith identity. And so for me, a lot of that happened when I moved out, and then even more so when I went to college. So for you, now you were a Central grad, right? Undergrad?
Yes.
So walk me through, like, what led you to Central?
Yeah, Central was always kind of the forefront,
the pinnacle
for me, because my grandpa taught there for 40 years, I think. And so he had been there since the early 80s.
Yeah.
My parents both went there, met there.
Yeah.
When I was graduating high school, because he had been in the military, and so his school was delayed, even though my brother was 5 years older, he was still there when I was starting school. And so I ended up going, Central was just kind of all in the family, with the exception of my sister. But we won't talk about that.
That's it, the black sheep.
The Nebraska Christian College.
Whoa.
I know. Anyway, so, there were a lot of family ties there, but it was also, I actually strongly considered Nebraska Christian College because I had grown up in Nebraska.
True confessions.
Hey, true confessions right here. I had grown up in Nebraska. The youth ministers at our church camp were all NCC grads.
Yeah.
And so that was very familiar to me.
Sure.
But it had moved from kind of the middle of nowhere in Nebraska into the Omaha area.
Yes.
And that was close enough to the University of Nebraska, where a lot of my friends were going to be, that I knew it wasn't spiritually a good choice for me.
Right.
To go that close.
Separate.
I knew that would be, I would want to get back into a band with my old friends and be in those environments where that just spiritually wasn't going to be good for me.
What do you play?
Guitar.
Okay.
Guitar.
All right.
Yes.
Of course you do.
Yes. Yeah. So
that's what Heather saw in you.
And I play it left-handed, so like a weirdo.
He's a 7, but with the guitar, he's a 9.
That's right. That's right. So Central, though, was was familiar enough, but it also kind of represented a fresh start for me, people-wise.
Yeah.
I still had, my brother there. My grandparents were there. I guess I'm not there right now.
Yeah.
But my grandparents were there, and so that was definitely a draw. We always lived a long ways away, so it was nice to be able to be close to them. But then even beyond that, just hearing my dad as a Central grad, talking about these professors that he had, like Mr. Reese and Mr. Pelfrey, and like these guys that were just huge, and seeing the giant Reese commentaries on my dad's shelf, and like I could learn from that guy. Like that's amazing. And so there were a lot of factors that kind of played into that, but ultimately Central was kind of at the forefront of my, I guess, academic options there. Moving forward. And
then you graduated, did ministry, did all kinds of stuff, but then came back and did a second lap at Central in the Russell School of Ministry in the grad program. Tell me what led to that.
So there's several factors. I had thought about grad school. I actually had not really considered the degree program real super strongly. And then I actually ended up at, I believe it was at the either at the renew.org gathering or the discipleship gathering, whichever one. It was all together at that point.
Yes. What thing am I at right now?
Yeah, I can't remember which part of that it was, but Dr. Billy was there.
Sure.
And I ended up sitting down and talking with him for quite a while about the school, about what the degree program offers, and as well as the back to school scholarship that they're offering, and that. And it's like, man, you can't
beat it.
You can't beat it. And it was familiar enough because I knew Central.
Yeah.
But it was also like a whole different set of people.
Yeah.
Even in my time, I'm in my third of 4 semesters here.
Yeah.
I've only had one professor that was an overlap from undergrad.
Yeah.
And so it's still been a whole new cast of characters, so to speak. And it's been really good.
So what's funny is that was one of the first things that Dr. Billy and I did together, was go to that. I know exactly when it was. I was like, okay, I got it. I got it locked in my head. I was like doing the math. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that I walked away from that and just being like, man, don't tell Bobby Harrington. I was like, what a waste. Like this, it was good. It was a good conference, but I was like, for us, it was like, man, this did not produce fruit. But you can't tell. You don't know. You don't know what the fruit's going to be. So that's amazing. So that's funny. Yeah, we were there to do. He and I did a co-taught thing together. So ministry for me. Ministry, did a bunch of things. I did my master's degree at Cincinnati, which is my ancestral home. So parents met there, grandparents met there, the whole thing. I'm a 4th generation CCU student. I might be the only 4th generation CCU student.
Look at you go.
And so, so I became aware of Central when CCU shut down, and certain pieces like the Russell School of Ministry were salvaged out of the wreckage of my alma mater, and Central kind of came in and on the white horse and salvaged some of that stuff. Yeah. And so that was, for me, I was predisposed to like Central just because, did something for my school. And seemed to be, my school had stopped because of, poor management. It seemed like Central was being well led and dynamic and moving forward, and I was excited about that. And so when there was an opportunity where they said, hey, this Russell School of Ministry thing, would you consider coming on and participating with that and working with that as a previous version of the Russell School of Ministry before what you're in right now? But I was like, I'm in, let's do it. And so started, my first office was on the other side of this wall. And it was great. And that was a little over 4 years ago now. And so for the last 2 years, I've been running the CCL. Which is our kind of our church services division at Central. So I really work with a lot of churches and ministers, and that's been a great experience for me. So I think I'll go first and talk about the last question we have to talk about is like, hey, what's next?
Yeah.
And for me, what's next is to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't see any changes on the horizon for me. Not looking for any changes. If we can just deliver on the commitments that we've made,
Yeah.
I will feel like my time here has been a success. And so, we have really grown our scope. We're doing all kinds of things that we haven't done before. And so, I've got on this other side of this wall, I've got, 30 people taking undergrad classes here. We've got you're here for the grad class.
Right, yeah.
We've got all this stuff happening at churches. And so, if we can just deliver on our commitments, I'll feel like my time at Central was well spent. But I don't see any close end to it.
Yeah.
And so, we're just trying to go forward and do the things that we've committed to do. And really what we're doing is just helping churches and ministers. And I feel like Central has always existed for churches, by churches.
Yeah.
There's standalone institutions that are Christian, and I'm for that. But that's not what Central is, and that's not what the Bible, that's not how the Bible colleges work for us. The Bible colleges kind of in our tribe have to be for churches and by churches. And so it's to our very great detriment. CCU for a while was like, we're a standalone institution. We don't need to be closely tied to churches. And actually, no, that's the bread and butter. And so, to the degree that Central is helping churches, we'll always have a place. And if we get away from that, then we won't. And that's just kind of how that works. So that's kind of what's next for me. What's next for you?
Yeah.
No idea.
Finish my master's program. That's what's next for me.
Yes.
I've been at the same church for over 13 years now. And my wife Heather just took a job as Dr. Fincher's assistant.
Yeah.
And so that time is coming to a close as far as our time at the church there in Eldon.
And Main Street. Yep.
Yeah, we have loved that church. And,
they've loved you.
Yeah, they have. And they've loved us well. And I'm excited for them, for whoever happens to be next.
Right.
But I'm not sure exactly what's next for me personally.
Sure.
But I'm sure it will involve utilizing the things that I've been learning in the program and being able to share those things with other people in some way or another.
Sure.
And so, I've right now though it's just figuring out some of the trying to smooth out what it looks like to work remote.
Sure.
Working out remote during the week and then there on weekends and traveling back and forth, and
kids in school, you're gone on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
Yeah, and so it makes for an interesting moment in our lives. But the transition's definitely unique and new for us because we actually started at the church a week after we got married.
Oh, wow.
And so like our entire life has been in this one church. And so it's just a new adventure for us to be back in Moberly.
My son Isaac is 11, and he was born in the church that we're at. I've never been anywhere this long, and so he's 11 years old, still at the same church he's born into.
Yeah.
And so, I get what you mean, man. Longevity matters.